I personally think Douglas is a great historical figure. I think he's one of the great figures in American history. What I hope the younger generations learn from this is to know that there are lessons that these historical figures can teach us. They may speak a little bit differently than we do today, but they overcame a lot of odds and they were bold in their declaration. There were sacrifices that were made, and sometimes I think we get so disheartened by the circumstances we find our own lives in that we forget that there were other people who survived and conquered those. I also think we can get a little intimidated. And I think at the end of the day, we have to realize that we too can do those works. Douglas didn't have the best education. He had to educate himself. But what would have happened if he stopped trying? What would have happened if he went with what society said he was capable of doing? What would have happened if he had said no to the American Anti-Slavery Society when they invited him in? What if he didn't step out and take a risk, right? And take a stand? I know a lot of people are hesitant to study people associated with slavery because they don't want to talk about slavery. They're uncomfortable with that. So moral suasion is the argument that you believe slavery is a moral wrong. Anything that has a connection to slavery is morally reprehensible. So because the Constitution mentions slavery in it, moral suasionists like Garrison would come to the conclusion that the Constitution was then an invalid document. Garrison is known for at rallies and events, at one point he ripped up and burned the Constitution. I think the question of moral suasion and the Constitution is what begins to have Douglas reassessing his stance. Because the danger in abolishing the Constitution was that what was going to arise in its place. And he did not have faith that moral suasion would mean that there would be a constitution that would be written in his favor. And so he began to play around with the ideas of political abolitionism. And when he returns from England and moves his family to Rochester, New York, he finds himself surrounded with political abolitionists, people who believe in the power of the United States Constitution and believe in leveraging politics as a means of creating social change. And Douglas begins to consider that. And so it's much later that he evolves to pronounce that, you know what, I'm a political abolitionist. I believe that slavery is a moral wrong, but we also need to use the systems that exist within this country to dismantle that. And one of those ways is to be politically engaged. There are a couple of ways that I think that Douglas would respond to what's happening. In one of his speeches, he says, "Do nothing with us. Your involvement with us is doing harm. If you see a black man going to school, let us go to school. You know, if you see us shopping, let us shop. You know, we don't need you interfering." And on a certain level, that sentiment is still very clear when we think about the instances of white men and women calling the cops on black people doing mundane activities, from everything from parking their car in their garage to bird watching, to having a picnic in a park, which in a public space. That sentiment of do nothing with us, we're not doing anything but living our lives, don't interfere with that. That's what that sentiment meant, was your interference, your processing of your bias and reporting us to police does more harm than it does good, right? I also think that Douglas would encourage the younger generation to challenge the status quo. So I think that he'd have a lot to say. I think what we can learn from him, from the spirit of his work, is to make sure that we are consistently challenging the status quo, and that we are explicit with our complaints and with our solutions.